Do you think there was more to do with Bob Holly? I know you're going to say yes. I mean, so
Yes, but I also remember, I believe, shortly after this, Brock Lesnar powerbomb Bob and right onto his head
that's where
and
we're headed next.
broke his
Yeah.
neck. And it was unfortunate because at this particular time they were pushing Bob, and they started pushing him really hard again. When he faced Brock, and that set him back again. So unfortunately, like I said before, Brock and I are fairly responsible for him not being pushed the way he should have.
I got to ask you because that's exactly where we were headed next with this kind of timeline for Bob. Were you at the show that he broke his neck, that Brock broke his
Yes,
neck?
yes, yes.
I mean, that's got to be another, that's so scary, dude.
Yeah, you know what? He landed right on his head. Something happened where Brock couldn't try to get him up, and he fell onto his head and landed right on top of his head. I mean, it was really bad. It didn't look as bad on TV, but if you slow it down and put it in slow motion, you could tell Bob messed his neck up pretty bad.
He would return, and he's on your team for a match at Survivor Series in '03, and it seems like he's going to be elevated for a shot against Brock coming off that injury. But man, I guess at this point, was his ability or was his opportunity, should I say, to be a top guy pretty much over?
I don't know. I mean, you have to remember, a lot of guys got injured after this, and you don't hope for injuries, but if you're a guy like Bob, you kind of want somebody to get injured so that you can take their place for a time being, or even or permanently. So there are a lot of injuries in pro wrestling. And that's why you have to be ready regardless.
Well, listen, he would lose the Brock at Royal Rumble, and we'll discuss your time with him next week because we're going to be talking No Way Out '04, and that features a long-time TV match with Bob that you had, kind of the build-up to that. But he's always been talked about, Kurt, as a locker room leader. Do you remember some of the instances of that and seeing him in that regard?
Yeah. Bob was a locker room leader without a doubt. I felt like if Taker wasn't there, Bob was in charge. Bob was one of the toughest guys in the company, and everybody had a lot of respect for him, and everybody feared him too. So it doesn't surprise me that Bob was the locker room leader.
Buddy,